Welcome back, my friends, to another episode of Camp Cinema. Tonight, we are talking one of the all-time science fiction / horror film classics, which is John Carpenter's The Thing. Tonight, I am joined by the boy himself. This is his favorite movie, so I'm going to let him do a lot of the talking. I'm just going to kind of MC it. But anyways, do you remember the first time we watched this?
I think I was pretty young.
I think you were too. Hey, I gotta watch horror movies when I was young, so for all you people out there that are like, oh, that's not appropriate, you're watching the wrong channel if you want appropriate. But now that you're older, because we just watched this, maybe 2 months ago? We watched this again together? And we've watched it multiple times, but I think it was just, a couple months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, so now, being, the high school kid that you are, what are your favorite things about this film?
I like the characters the most. Mm-hmm. They stand out from a lot of other horror movies because you're used to the dumb characters. These are very smart dudes.
Yeah, because, they're actually all up there. They're working on an archaeological dig, right? So, yes, they're all scientists. Well, except MacReady, the most badass character, mind you. He's just a helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
But he's still pretty smart, too. Who is your favorite character? Well, I probably already know the answer to that. But tell me about some of your favorite characters and why.
I like MacReady a lot, obviously. I feel like he's probably most people who like this movie's number one pick.
Right.
But I also really like Clark, the dog keeper, a lot.
Oh, yeah. He had a good role. It was kind of small, but he brought that humanity element into it to where you could tell he truly loved these dogs, and he had a bond with the dogs. And that's why he went to go save that one that the Norwegians were chasing down. Obviously, these guys didn't know what the dog was carrying, but that's also why Clark made such a big deal to save him. What about some old Wilford Brimley? What about some Blair action?
I like his... I think he almost provides a darkly comedic element where they'll come visit him in the shack and it'll be like, it's cold out here, I want to come inside.
Let me come inside. I'm all better now. I got diabetes. I'm sorry. If any of you have seen those commercials with Wilford Brimley, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I may even just enter a clip right about now.
I'm Wilford Brimley, and I'd like to treat you to an ice cream, an apple pie, and diabetes. Diabetes. I'd like to treat you to diabetes. Actually, I'm surrounded by diabetes.
Love me some Wilford Brimley, man. But we also have to talk about the dynamic of MacReady and Childs. I love Childs. He doesn't have a whole lot of lines and he doesn't talk a whole lot, but he is just a bad man. And I like how the two of them, while you can tell that they're not very buddy, that they are the ones that are really kind of in charge of this group when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
They really just kind of take charge and take lead.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have to talk about groundbreaking practical effects in this
Practical effects were amazing.
Rob Bottin, this was his era. The 80s was, you had some of your top tier guys, which of course were Rob Bottin, Tom Savini. These are the guys that they were household names as far as practical effects. But what's one of your most memorable and favorite scenes, practical effect-wise, in this movie?
When they're going to defibrillate the chest and it pops open.
Right.
Closes back up.
Right, because that was the doctor, and then he was doing that to Morris, who had the heart attack.
Yeah.
They thought he was having a heart attack. Yeah, that scene is awesome when the mouth just opens up and bites both the arms off the doctor.
Yeah.
Clear!
And then one of the coolest scenes in this movie, I mean, the practical effect and the whole thing of it was super cool, but also I thought the human interaction and reaction to it is when Morris's head turns into the spider. And they all just kind of turn around. They're just like, you gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
And they blowtorch it. That's one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. What else, kid? What else is a standout moment to you in this film?
In terms of like practical effects,
Anything.
I really like, just obviously everyone knows this when they watch it, just the sense of distrust between everyone, because you can't tell. My favorite scene in the entire movie is where they're taking the hot rod and touching the blood with it to see if
to
it...
figure out who is the thing.
This is pure nonsense. Doesn't prove a thing.
I thought you'd feel that way, Gary. You were the only one that could have got to that blood. We'll do you last.
Get away from me! Retreating! What is it?
Because you're right, and that's one of the genius of this movie is these guys, they're isolated. There is no one coming to help. They are in the middle of nowhere, and now you have this creature that can assimilate anything and anyone. So you have this huge level of distrust, and they're all out in the middle of nowhere. And like he said, that whole dynamic of those guys and dealing with that, and then how they figure out with the blood, with the hot iron, was super cool. And then
that also shows, like, these are smart guys. They're coming up with solutions. They realize this thing, its body isn't like a separate organism like humans are.
Right.
This thing, every single part of it is a sentient part of it, so even its blood is going to try to react to get away from that hot needle.
Right, and you're nailing it, and that's what I love, is that is the greatness of this film, is that it's not a bunch of, screaming, panicking people running upstairs when they should be running outside. It's problem solving, and they're all trying to figure out what they can do to survive, and then of course try to kill the thing. What did you think of the end, and how, like, the way that it came out, and the last time you see the thing, and MacReady doing his, what do you think about the ending of this movie?
I like that they left it a little open-ended at the end, because it leads way to fan theories.
Yes.
And there's the whole thing where they never really say if child is a thing or not.
Correct.
Because a lot of people theorize that you can't see his breath. It's not fogging.
Right,
And
the
people
oxidation
think
of
he's
breath.
a thing. But then again, you could also just say the lighting is near him. It's a warmer environment. But I think that was on purpose. I don't think that was an accident.
I think, especially because everything else is so thought out and taken care of in this movie that I think you're right. I've always been a believer of that too. I don't think that that's a lighting setup to where you're just not seeing the oxidation of his breath. I think that's giving you the clue of you're the thing now. And what I love about that is that MacReady knows it. You know, he knows it in his head. And
the way he's talking to him, you can hear it. He's like, we're going to sit here, and we're just going to...
we're going to ride it out, and we're going to die together.
You the only one who made it?
Not the only one.
Did you kill it?
Where were you, Charles?
Thought I saw Blair. I went out after him. Got lost in the storm. Fire's got the temperature up all over the camp. Won't last long, though.
Neither will we.
How will we make it?
Maybe we should.
If you're worried about me,
If we've got any surprises for each other, I don't think we're in much shape to do anything about it.
well, what do we do?
Why don't we just wait here for a little while? See what happens.
And but the other thing is too is that where you can see MacReady kind of gives into it. Finally, he's just exhausted. He knows he's going to die. Nothing else. They share the bottle of whiskey. And I guess, if you will, you could say that that could even be a possible transfer. Like, now they're both going to become the thing. Because it could have transferred through that.
I don't know if I'd back that up, because when we see it, I forgot who it was. It might have been Mac, but when they're assimilating his body, it's a process. It is completely... I don't think it's that... I don't think it's kind of like the virus thing where it infects... Because it murders these people, and it shows you taking over his body. It's a whole process. It's on him.
All right. I guess my only thought is that when it goes and gets... And I'm drawing a blank on his name. The guy that's like, I would like to not spend the rest of my life tied to this couch.
I know you gentlemen have been through a lot. But when you find the time, I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch!
That dude, like when Wilford Brimley, Blair finds him and he puts his hand on him like that, and then like his fingers are going into his cheek. I guess I always kind of thought he was like somewhat like absorbing or assimilating him, but he still was Blair also. So that's why I thought maybe it could transfer, but I guess you have a good point. There's never two people who are the thing.
They also leave this open-ended. I don't think they ever show this, but my theory, the way I see it, is it's assimilating them, but it's not like taking over their body. I don't think, because some of the people that it shows later, it shows that it destroyed their body when it killed them, but it can still become them. So I think it might not actually be their body. It is able to just replicate. It's not an infection. It's more of just a replication of them.
You're right. See, the kid's smart, man. The kid's smart. He gets that from his mother, not from me. All he gets from me is anxiety and a love of horror films. he gets all of his smarts from his mother. But that's a very, very good point. I absolutely love this movie. I put it in the top 5 of my favorite movies of all time. This is your favorite film, correct? So my favorite film is Jaws. the boy, it's the Thing. And this is actually his display. We took this out of his room to set up on the table. He's got a big Thing poster in his room, and this whole display gets set up on a shelf, his MacReady's. And by the way, huge shout out real quick to these NECA figures. NECA, if you're into horror films and some action films and stuff like that, these NECA characters are absolutely incredible. I'm not going to say they're expensive, but they're also not $5. They fall anywhere from you can sometimes find them for $25, you can sometimes find them for $50, depending on which ones you get. But they are super cool, and this set of MacReady's is awesome. So, well, I got to tell you, kid, I really enjoyed doing this video with you. Anything else you want to say to the people about the Thing as we wrap it up?
I do like the scene where the practical effects of the dog, like where they first see the thing of the dog melting down, having its face open like a flower.
Get your ass over here! Burn it! Damn it, Charles, torch it!
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. That's a good point that he brings up, that the idea of the Thing is that it's been to 1,000 planets. So this, I mean, it can turn into anything. We don't even know what half the things it's turning into because it has assimilated so many different species, humans, aliens, dogs, cats, everything you can think of. This thing has probably assimilated at some time, because they do say that ice, like where it was buried, it had been there for like 100,000 years.
Yeah, we don't even know what the Thing looks like.
Correct.
Because everything we're seeing could just be it assimilating another dangerous species. I mean, this thing realistically could be a little larva that one day took over the dead body of some animal on an alien planet that we found, and that animal happened to be insanely dangerous. It could be one of the horrors that we see in the movie. We don't know what it actually looks like.
That, my friends, is an excellent point. And how about this kid, right? He stole the show. And so we're going to do some more father and son videos. I feel that we have a few movies that we can talk about. We may do a father and son Halloween. We may do a father and son Night of the Creeps. Ooh, some Return of the Living Dead.
I don't know about Return of the Living Dead.
Come on, man. That movie's phenomenal. No Return of the Living Dead.
It's stupid phenomenal.
Alright, it is. I guess I'll be doing Return of the Living Dead myself. But stay tuned. This is, as I've said in all my videos, this is an absolute passion project for me. I love talking about films, especially horror films. There will be some other films discussed on here. It's not just going to be an all horror channel, but I truly love making these videos, and I also love the fact that I get to spend some time with my boy, and that we also share a passion for these movies as well. It's a real fun thing to be able to sit and kick it with your kid, watch an incredible movie, get their perspective. I grew up on this film. Now he's growing up on this film. So it's a very, very cool thing. So Isaac, thank you so much for being in this video. Kid did an awesome job, did he not? He really explained this movie well and gave us a lot of good topics on it. So if you're digging it, if you're digging the show, please come back around again. And until the next time, my friends, make sure to take care of each other and be kind. Thanks a lot.